Hey guys, it's 𝗪𝗛𝗡𝗚𝗏 here, and welcome back to another build challenge. So as you can tell from the title of today's video, we have a pretty daunting task on our hands, and we are in fact going to try and build a fully functional one-tile townhouse. So to elaborate, the townhouse is actually going to be one solid line that is only one tile wide. So as you guys know, there's not really too much that can fit in this space, especially if you're not trying to clip objects or size things down. Honestly, I have seen some simmers attempt this, and it is quite a doozy. But for today's challenge, we're also going to create this as a micro home, so it'll be another fun element of the challenge as well. Going into the world itself, we are in the good old world of Willow Creek, and for the first time, we also have my sim self here as well. I have roughly styled him in my same attire, and hopefully he will be helping us with some good old playtesting. So with that said, I think we're ready to get started, and I'm just going to cross my fingers on this. All right, so diving on into build mode, we are in a 20 by 15 lot, which is pretty cozy, but of course, building is going to be kind of simple. We will just have a line going down, and I think if we are doing 32 tiles, perhaps we can do 16 on the first floor and then 16 on the second. Let's do one more up top just like so, and that will max out our micro home. Now, I don't really know if I want 2 yards, so I think I'll actually move it over just a little bit. I'll probably do the parking area over here and then maybe the yard to the right side. All right, if we're thinking townhouse, I'm going to be super basic, super suburban, super cookie cutter, if you will. I would like some vinyl siding and maybe some stone as well. Ooh, I kind of enjoy this city living brick right here. I don't think I've ever used this, or if I do, it's super, super rare. So let me give this a try, and then I'll do vinyl siding on the top portion. Thankfully, 𝗧𝗛𝗛𝗡𝗞𝗦 has some really nice options. So I could do something like this. We do need a roof as well, so I'm thinking just a plain gabled roof. It might look a little funky, but I'll do my best. This house is super basic in shape, but maybe I can add a little divider moment just like this, just so that we have something unique at the entrance. What do we have for doors? That is a good question. I guess I could possibly do maybe this from cottage living. All right, and for this portion, could I do a half gabled roof just like that? Perhaps? Honestly, I don't really mind this interaction here. Let me actually pull down this part of the roof and see if we can actually make this work. It's giving me 70s or 80s vibes for some reason, which I'm honestly fine with. I do think we can play off of that. I do like a smaller option like this. This is actually not too bad from cottage living. It's fairly narrow and it does blend into the vinyl siding, so I think this could be a possibility. I'm also going to map out the yard as well because I do want to see where things are going to lay out. So let me grab some nice sort of white picket fences and move them along just like this. We're going to have a super large yard, which honestly is not too bad, especially because the living situation is super, super tight. So I think we'll definitely need this. Going to get the matching gate as well, which I believe is this one. All right, we do need a little bit of a driveway. Maybe I can get some terrain paints down. Honestly, you guys, I love this gravel. I think I will use it once more. And let me pat some down towards the front entrance as well. It kind of would be nice to enclose this. I'm not really sure how we would, but we could give us a little bit more yard in this area too. So maybe I could put the fence over here and extend it back just like this. All right, there we go. Perfect. It could be nice to have something like this, something very short just to kind of section off the landscaping. So let me go ahead and add in these details. Ooh, I was really off on this. I was really off on that, you guys. So let me fix this. Ooh, I was really off here too. My goodness. That's what happens when I don't use grid lines. I am punished for not having the grid lines on, you guys. Now, I do want to say before I forget, obviously townhouses are normally clumped together, but I figured one was just enough. If I did do another build, it would almost turn into a 2-tile wide townhouse, if that makes sense. So that would be a little bit weird. But I think this will be really cool once we do get into the inside. Thankfully, with landscaping, we are not confined. So I'm using 2 of these beech trees, I believe. They do kind of remind me of birch trees as well. Never mind, they're aspen trees. See, I'm just really bad with my foliage, but it looks great, and that's what matters. I could even do a larger tree just like this. If we do want to play off some of the surrounding landscape. Ooh, we could do these really fun little hedges. You guys know I love hedges, but I very rarely use this option. But I really enjoy how cubed and kind of manicured it is. So let me add some of these around the lot. Probably going to go all the way around because I love my foliage. So I think this should do the trick here. I will say the lot is looking a little bit on the drabby side, so I would like some nice yellow flowers just to brighten things up. Ooh, I do like these, so let me add in a few just like this. Could put some larger plants towards the back here as well, so maybe 2 of these would be great. I really like how they're very tall. I think either lilac or lavender plants grow just like this, or maybe even foxgloves. Obviously, you guys, I'm not a botanist, so I'm probably just saying all of the wrong species of plants, but regardless, I think they work great here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of dirt texture beneath them as well. Same thing over here, just to make this look a little bit more like a flower bed, and I think we will be good to go. All right, guys, now comes the really bad part. We do have to figure out how this house is going to lay out, and it's super, super narrow, which is not good. But let us get some basics down. I'm probably going to use one of my favorite woods just to start things off. Ooh, I really do like these options from base game. So we could do a really nice kind of darker, almost teal palette on the inside with a chocolate brown. So I think this could be really cool. I do see the mudroom being very small, so I think something like this is fine. And I'll just copy this just like this. Going into this, I do think we need the kitchen and also the bedroom on the first floor, because I'm not really sure how the Sims are going to access these, but let's see. It's super dark in here, so let me get some lights really quickly. I think we'll use this option for now from the cottage living pack, and it does fit with the more rustic traditional feel of this townhouse. Ooh, we do need stairs, so I think stairs should probably go in the center here. I think that is the best option. Let's put the stairs here for now. All right, kitchen, kitchen, kitchen. We do need our appliances. Let me go here and get our counters down. Going to use my favorite options from the cottage living pack because I do think it matches fairly well with the flooring. So let's do this. I will also add in a more retro fridge, also from the same pack. All right, my theory is we may be able to use a sliding door and have your Sims access this, which I think could work. But if not, we're really in a pickle, and I'm not really sure what to do from there. But we're going to have to see how this pans out. All right, so we have the sink there, counter here, and then the stove all the way up against the wall just like this. And then I'll go and find a large sliding door, which I think will probably have to be eco lifestyle. We do have these options here, which do span the full 4 tiles, which is not too bad. All right, Townie, we need you over here. Let's see if we can actually access this. All right, moment of truth, you guys. Can we wash our hands at least? We can't. So we cannot wash our hands through this. All right, that is not good. This is going to be an issue. I think what we're going to have to do is actually divide the kitchen, and it's not really going to make much logical sense, but at least your Sims will be able to use everything here. Say goodbye to the giant sliding door, which I thought it honestly looked pretty acceptable, but this kitchen is just not going to work otherwise. Honestly, you guys, I should have figured that probably wasn't going to work, but Sims are weird. Sometimes things function, sometimes they don't, and we do have to work around them the best we can. And at the end of the day, if we need a lot of separate rooms, then so be it. I just really want this place to function and look somewhat presentable, if that makes sense. Okay, I do think we'll have the stove with the counter here, so it'll be kind of like the food prep area on this side, and we'll have the fridge and the kitchen sink here as well. I'm going to go ahead and swap out the mailbox, and I will also put in a trash can because we did miss that earlier. All right, maybe on the other side just like this. And that will also let us try out the kitchen, which should work at this point. Okay, so let's go in. We can wash our hands. Yes, perfect. Can we prepare food? Let's see if we can maybe bake something. Brownies should do the trick. I think that will also use the counter space. So we can get to the fridge, perfect. And we can get to the counter, awesome. Okay, we're kind of on standby, very strangely. I don't know what Townie's doing. He's kind of slow. Not that great of a cook, just like myself. That's absolutely fine. All right, and there we go. We are all set. So the kitchen does work. It is separated, but it does work. So that's not too bad. There's a fire. This is a terrible time for a fire. Okay, at least he's smart enough to put it out, which is absolutely perfect. So no more cooking for him. And I'll go ahead and replace this object for now. And of course, clean the floor. So we are now back to figuring out the rest of this layout. Honestly, the next thing I am very worried about is the bed situation because the whole sliding door situation probably is not going to work. I'm going to try it anyways and just use a single bed option. Okay, sliding door, here we come. I don't think this is going to work once more, but we will have to find some kind of solution for this situation. So here we go, Townie. And can we get to the bed? We cannot, so that is not good. I'm going to assume that if I put a door next to the bed, we're still not going to be able to get in. I could do a smaller sliding door perhaps. Let's see if this works. Can we get into the bed? No, we can't. We still cannot. Maybe an archway? I guess that is the next best thing like this. Even this is not working either, which I really don't understand. Maybe over here. Can we shift it over like this? If it doesn't work here, I don't think it's going to work at all, so we need another backup plan. If we break the wall like this, can we get in this way? And we can. Okay, so that's really good to know. Let me see if I can get away with just one piece of wall being gone. All right, I think the sim gets in on this particular tile. So if I do this, he can actually get into the bed. Okay, so that's not too bad. I don't really mind that. I do want to create some kind of door, which I don't think is going to work very well, but it's something if I can at least mimic a door. The other thing I'm kind of worried about, you guys, is the fact that we have all of this space that we cannot access. So that is a little bit bothersome. I think what I'll have to do is actually move the bed forward and create some kind of entryway towards the back here. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me actually delete this wall and create a wall over here, and then maybe put a very small room here, maybe with ladders going up. It's not at all conventional by any means, but it's gonna have to do. I could put something behind the bed as well, so it'll probably be more so decorative than functional. Maybe some kind of bookcase perhaps. Ooh, honestly, this Realm of Magic option could do the trick. I do like the brown tone, and I guess if we're going to be living in a super small space, might as well make it luxurious. Okay, unfortunately, we still have this whole gaping hole issue, which is terrible. I'll try to add in possibly some columns just like this. One thing, unfortunately, that I know for sure is the fact that because this is open, the lighting is going to be super weird in here. So again, it's not really optimal, but I do have to find a solution for this. Honestly, one thing I want to do is try to fit in a door of some kind, even if it's not functional. So I'm going to try this basement hack and see if this works. Okay, do I do it here and then bump it up like this? Does it work? Maybe? I don't know how high to go, you guys. I'm so bad at this. All right, the door is kind of in place. It's floating a little bit, but can we access the bed? That is the question. Can we get to the bed? And we can get to the bed. That is actually not too bad. We have a fake door in place, but it actually works. So that is not too shabby. Obviously the door is a different color, but honestly, I gotta do what I gotta do, you guys. The next thing I wanna do is close off this area because I don't want it technically exposed, even though it is by the Sims 4 standards. So I think a nice window could do the trick here. Will you work? You kind of work. This is not too bad. Aha, we do have our makeshift door, which doesn't really match with the rest of the house, but it is okay. And I guess if we wanted a little bit more privacy, we could actually add in a little bit of fence here as well, probably going across maybe this area like this. I also would like to add a few awnings here because if Sims are living in this townhouse, they're going to be in and out of this place quite a bit. So any kind of awning would be great. Seasons will probably be our go-to here, and I can roughly match the color of the roof, which is not too bad, so I think I'll use this option and use it throughout the build. All right, the next thing is working on the second floor. So what I'm going to do is actually copy this wallpaper here just like this. I will go ahead and restyle things later, but I do want to get a sense of layout first because we still have a bathroom to fit and we also need some kind of study or skill area as well. I'm going to pull more of these lovely windows from the cottage living pack and just kind of scatter them about because I definitely want more light on the second floor. We definitely need a pathway over here. And then maybe I can mix up the garden space just a little bit. Ooh, I kind of like this stone from the Get Together pack. So let me actually break out of my old habits and use this option instead. And I will use it in the backyard as well. All right, there we go, just like that. And I think this is looking good. I think the main dining area will probably be here. And I do want to do something a little bit creative for that space. Could do a nice round area just like this with kind of a circular table in the middle. And I think I would actually like to create a little bit of a border here as well. Maybe with some smaller plants perhaps. Ooh, these could be kind of fun. Let me actually use this option from base game. And I will use a lot of the same yellow flowers as well. and just create a path just like this. You know, if our house is super skinny, at least we have this beautiful blooming garden, so there it is, you guys. Ooh, I really like this striped option as well. It's kind of giving off a more nautical feel, if that makes sense. So we could do something like that. I do like these pops of color as well. Ooh, actually, you know, some city living is not too bad. I do like how these match. I do have to work on the outdoor lighting situation because it is super dark here. Let me get some outdoor lighting, mainly with some wall sconces. Ooh, I kind of like this retro option from the Get to Work pack. I feel like this building could use something like this, and I'll probably place some towards the back over here as well, just to add a nice glow. All right, maybe some smaller outdoor lights. I could use this option and maybe go for the Get Together pack. That's not too bad. Ooh, we do have this option from the Romantic Garden pack as well, which honestly, I don't mind. I think I'll put some over here just along the flower beds because the path at night is pretty dark. Okay, so we do have a very small issue, you guys. I'm not really seeing any place for a dresser, which is a little concerning. We did have this, but this will lead to the second floor area on this side. And I don't think we'll have any room that will make sense up here as well. So I'm not really sure what to do. I could fit the dresser in maybe part of the bathroom. I don't really know if that makes sense. I could even make this area even smaller and go like this. So it's just a super, super small one tile mudroom just like this. And then move all of this down as well. I think the dresser can actually go along this wall. It's probably the best placement I can come up with, and at least it's not too far from the bedroom space. We could do maybe this one from the base game, which honestly is not too bad. It kind of fits with the theme. Ooh, can we squeeze in a very tiny mirror? Perhaps. I'll use this option once more, and then possibly find a mirror option from base game, something that can actually hang on the wall itself. All right, let's go on inside Townie. Let's see if this works. Let us first try on outfits, and can we do it? Yes, perfect. Honestly, you guys, I did not make any of these outfits. I only made the everyday outfit he's wearing, so EA is totally responsible for those fashion choices, but it could be worse. It could be worse. All right, now, mirror. Can we work this mirror? I hope so. And let us see. Perfect. We do have that available. Okay, so we're moving to the second floor now. I think the bathroom is probably the best room to have the stairs leading up to. So I'll probably put a wall here, and then the bathroom will probably take about maybe 3 tiles. So maybe one about here. And I think we will be forced to use the snowy escape option, which could be worse. But at least Sims can actually pass through it, if that makes sense. Sinks, not really sure if it'll fit. I think we're kind of low on space, but it could actually work. I do know that the tiny living toilet is fairly narrow, so this could actually work, I think, but it is going to be super cramped in this space. Could I do it maybe over here somewhere? I don't really know how that's going to work with the door, unfortunately. All right, so maybe I can shift this over. I can move the toilet maybe over here, just so that it's not completely blocking the door. And let me actually go ahead and add in a door as well. All right, the toilet is awkwardly sitting right there. I wish there was some kind of element I could put next to it, but honestly, this may not even work out. So, Townie, here we come. Let's come upstairs, please. Can we get around here? Yes, we can. Can we use the sink? Wonderful, we can. And can we use the shower? Yes, perfect. And of course, the toilet as well, we can. Okay, so the toilet we can actually use. It is not conventional by any means, but we can possibly make this work. All right, so let's fix the bathroom situation. I do want to add maybe some tile along the wall instead. We do have these options as well from the Parenthood pack, which I actually do like a little better. It's not too funky, if you will, so I think we will go with this. I do have to resolve the weird toilet situation though, which I'm honestly a little bit unsure of. All right, so I tried putting the toilet against the wall, but it does take up too much space. We will have to kind of rotate this in like this and maybe put some kind of wall behind the toilet. I'm not really sure. I can move this farther back. I can actually move it here and then maybe back it with some kind of standing cabinet perhaps. All right, let's use this option from the Seasons pack. I'm going to scale it down like so. At least we'll have a little bit more privacy this way, and the bathroom should still be somewhat functional. All right, guys, a moment of truth. Can we make this thing work? I think we can. I think we can. Let us wash our hands. No, we cannot wash our hands. I think it's the towel, so let me actually move this. Can we get through? We still cannot get through for some reason. All right, Townie, come on, let's do this. Can we get through? We still can't get through. Why? All right, if I move this out of the way, can we get through? Here we go, and yes, we can. Okay, so it seems like that tile is problematic. What I'll have to do is actually extend the bathroom farther back a little bit. So let me go ahead and pull this down like this, toilet paper up against the wall, and this one right here like this. Let us see, we can go back outside like this. Perfect. Can we get in here? Wonderful. Can we get over here? Yes. Can we use the toilet? Yes. All right. It's looking good. Washing our hands. Perfect. And shower? Yes, we can. We did it, you guys. That is awesome. All right. I think we are all set with the little skinny bathroom. The next thing I want to do is add some kind of skill area up here and possibly close this off as well. I think if your sim is living here, we should have something that they can use to make money. So perhaps an easel could do the trick. Probably going to use this option just like this. And I will also push back the chandelier as well. Could use a nice long runner here, which is going to be super lengthy, but you know, some kind of rug is better than nothing, honestly. Let us do some good old base game just like this. And technically, it actually fits perfectly in the one tile slot, so I think this works fine. We should be able to add some paintings along the wall as well, so I don't believe these will be a problem if I do place them here. Some hanging plants would actually be wonderful here because we do need some plant life on the inside. So I think I will use the option from the paranormal pack. All right, we need more light in here, so let me put in a few more windows, and I think we should be pretty good to go. All right, Townie, here we come. We do have to test this out. Where are you? Where are you? You are stuck in the bathroom. But he's getting there. He is getting there, you guys. All right, can we use this? I do believe we can. All right, perfect. Going up to our super skinny art studio, which honestly could be worse. All right, classic painting. Let's do a medium painting. And it works. That is absolutely perfect. The canvas is like jammed up against the wall, but it's still doable, so not too shabby. I do want to add in a little bookshelf, and unfortunately, I think the only bookshelf I can actually use that is not going to intervene with my Sims walking is probably this option from the infant update. It's not really an object I would want to use, but I'm not really sure where else I can put some books. Honestly, I think adding some over here is not too bad, so let me do this. It may not make a lot of sense, but at least there is something to use. Hopefully other books can actually go in this besides children's books, but there are far worse things you could read, so I think that'll have to suffice. We don't really have a good place to read the book, unfortunately. I can finish this area down here because I did want some kind of bench below the tree. And let me see what we have for possible options. Oh, something like this would be lovely. I do love this object from the Seasons pack, and I think something like this would be cool. Trying to blend in this area just a little bit more, but honestly, it's kind of hard in The Sims. You can't really get a smooth transition, but I think something like this is not too bad. We do need some lighting at night, especially around our dining spot, so let me add a few more of these nice lamps from the Romantic Garden pack. It is pretty dark in this area as well, so let me see if I can actually find some other sources of light. Ooh, these lanterns would actually look great here. I can kind of blend them into the tree, just like this. I am thinking we could even do these poofs, which I always enjoy. And I could put one about here and another one here as well. All right, perfect. There you are, just like this. And for the other side, I'll probably use the tray object from the Tiny Living pack. So this should be a very cozy space for your Sims. I do want to make some quick fixes on the inside, and one of them, unfortunately, is the Realm of Magic bookcase, which just doesn't really fit the aesthetic here. So let me remove this. And I think I will return to the Parenthood option just like so. Also, I will modify the downstairs kitchens, and I do want to use more of this lovely wallpaper as well. And I do think it fits a lot more appropriately here. Could even add some nice windows over here if we are using this space. Ooh, better yet, we do have the matching option from up here. So that is absolutely perfect. And I'll probably put it just about here. Going to pull one more for the bedroom as well for what it's worth. Obviously, it's not going to fix the lighting situation, but at least there is a little bit of a view. Could we actually get a TV in here? I think we could. Ooh, actually, you know what? I do like these retro TVs, so let me actually create a shelf instead, and then I'll put the TV on top of it. What does Townie wear? That is a good question, and I think out of these options, we don't really have too many things that are fitting. But I guess if we're going more formal, this could do the trick. All right, I need you down here, Townie. We do need to test out this updated bedroom, which I do like a lot more. And at least it should provide some entertainment. So let's go ahead and sleep first. We can get into bed. Perfect. All right, come back out here and maybe rest first. And can we turn on the TV and watch something? My favorite thing to watch is probably comedy. Let's do that. And it does work. Perfect. All right. This is not too bad, you guys. I do like the bedroom space a lot more now. All right. We do have another weird space up here. And unfortunately, I think this will just be an attic for now. I will also change out the wallpaper because I do want this to look more like an actual attic. So something like this would work great. I'm not really sure what I'm going to put up here. It could be just some random boxes for now. It really doesn't matter too much, but it would be nice if something actually was functional there. All right, so if we go up the stairs, we can stand right about there, and there's really not much space after this, which is not good. So let me go back down the stairs. I'm gonna see what we can put up here, and hopefully we do have something that actually works. Honestly, I would be happy with more books. If I could fit something like this back here, that wouldn't be too bad. And if I'm thinking more realistically, maybe some kind of clutter, a box of clutter could do the trick. Could I put this above the bookcase? That would be wonderful. Honestly, you guys, I don't think this is going to work. Let me try to get up here. Here we go. All right. And can we actually use the bookcase? I don't think we can. Can we read something? Oh, we cannot. Unfortunately, we cannot. I can try to push it into the wall a little bit more, but I don't really think that's going to resolve the issue. Oh, I think I did it. I think I did it, you guys. I pushed it into the wall ever so slightly, which is not showing on this side, and I did manage to grab the book. So that is perfect. It is a working attic space. So that is absolutely wonderful. I do want some clutter along the walls as well. So I think something like this from Cottage Living is not too bad. Probably will use some scaled down pots and pans as well, just to really fill out this space. So let me actually grab those from base game. They are super big, so unfortunately I do have to scale them down twice, but I do like the way they look. On this side, I would also like some more cabinet space. So we do have a few really nice options from the Cottage Living pack. And then I'll probably put maybe a knife set along the wall. And I think we should be pretty good to go here. Ooh, we do have opportunities for clutter here, which is not too bad. Let me get a nice bar of soap from the 𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗡 pack, just like this. Ooh, I do think there is an object from Get Together that I would like to use. And it's kind of like this teapot holder, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll probably scale you down just once and put you along the wall just like so. All right, guys, we are closing this off with the last of the backyard. And I think for this area, I do want it to be some kind of garden. I do want to bring more of these flowers in to create a rough path once more, but I will create an area more so for a florist, perhaps. That could be really cool. Let me also get some basic planter boxes out, and I think we can actually line the wall with these. I'm gonna go for the boxy version from base game, and I think we'll put one here and then go along this way just like so. We definitely need a hose out here, but we also can use the gardening tools from the Get Together pack, so I think that will be really fitting for this backyard area. Ooh, we do have this lovely trellis, which we kind of can use. We could actually put it maybe outside like this. All right, in white is absolutely perfect. I love that. The florist station is in seasons, I believe. So let me do this, and it should be down here like so. We're a little cramped, so let me move this over. I will bring back some of that nice gravel texture as well that I did use on the other side of the lot. All right, it's super dark out there at night, so let me actually grab some more of these wall sconces, and I will bring them over to the other side as well. Oh, this object would be really nice. I could do this from the Cottage Living pack and place one about here. And I can also bring back more of the objects from the romantic garden stuff as well. So bringing in more of these path lamps could do the trick here. A really nice object that could actually bring this together is a grill. And I think this wall area is absolutely perfect for it. So I could use maybe this option from the Desert Luxe pack, which is not too bad. Kit, excuse me. Could I do the barrel trash can? I think we can. It's in here somewhere. And I'll probably just put it right up against the grill itself. Probably about here, just like this. 41 tiles. What happened, you guys? What happened? I think I broke the game again. Not really sure what's going on here, but let me see if I can fix this. All right, guys, so I really don't know what's going on with the whole tile count. Let us do a quick test on our own and see if we made our house 32 tiles, which I do believe we did. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 16 times 2 is 32. So we do have a 32 tile house, even though the game does say otherwise. So unfortunately, we just have to rely on our own math because this count is just not accurate. Hey guys, it's 𝗧𝗛𝗞𝗏 off camera, and unfortunately I realized my error a little too late. During editing, I actually found that I left the whole basement downstairs that I did originally use to place the door. So upon removing it, we are back to 32 tiles, and instead I'm actually going to use a debug door from the Cottage Living pack. So this works perfectly. It is somewhat close to the real doors, and of course I do substitute the columns as well, along with the window, which has now been replaced with the wood carving from the Get Together pack. So thankfully, my sim can go right through the door. The bed still functions just like normal. Unfortunately, this edit did not make it into the final build tour, but we will return to the video right now. Alright guys, so we are pretty much set with the lonely one-tile townhouse that did take up 32 tiles, despite what the number is saying on the screen. But honestly, I am super happy with how this came out. It has a really fun yard, and I think the townhouse was done in a very classic traditional style that I did have in mind. Just like you guys saw, this is a look at the front entrance area, and there of course is 𝗧𝗛𝗞𝗏. He did a lot of work for us today, and I'm very pleased with his playtesting. But overall, this yard just has full of activities for your Sims. We do have a lovely outdoor dining area here. We do have a barbecue, and we have a lovely reading nook under the tree full of lanterns as well. And of course, some nice refreshments and some nice candles there. Moving over to the left, we do enter the garden space, which I really did enjoy. We do have this lovely trellis at our entrance, but we do have 3 base game planter boxes here and also the floral arranging station from the Seasons pack. So that pretty much completes the outdoor space. Moving to the inside, this is probably the longest and narrowest house you have ever seen. So we have a very small mudroom area here. And unfortunately, we did have to divide up the kitchen, but the fridge is here. We do have the kitchen sink as well with a nice view. And over here, we do have the stove and counter here as well, with an entrance to the garden. So we do have this. Towards the right, we do have the center staircase leading up to the 2nd floor, and we do have an area for your Sims to get ready with a mirror and dresser. But of course, moving over to the right, we do enter the most challenging space in this build, and this was of course the bedroom area. So we could not have a true real archway or door going inside. I did have to kind of glitch objects together, but honestly, the bedroom is still fairly cozy. Heading up to the 2nd floor now, we do have the very super skinny artist studio, which at least has some paintings and a children's bookshelf, which your Sims can access. And if you do paint on the easel, you have some kind of loft view for what it is worth. Moving into the bathroom, this was another super challenging space. The layout is not very conventional, but we do have a toilet, shower, and sink that your Sims can actually use. And of course, towards the right, we end the building with the little tiny attic space, which fortunately the bookcase is accessible with some good old junk on top as well. Overall, I had a blast with this challenge. I honestly did not know what to expect, and when I thought of a single townhouse that was only 1 tile wide, I really didn't have much hope for this build, but I think I worked around most of the restrictions fairly well, despite things like the bedroom and the bathroom. But other than that, I think the house actually has some curb appeal. Just like always, please feel free to let me know how I did. Did you enjoy this end result? Do you think I could have done certain things better? Definitely feel free to leave your feedback in the comments. On that note, I will see you all in the next build challenge. And of course, just like always, this has been 𝗧𝗛𝗞𝗏 Sim Builds, signing off. Thank you so much for watching, guys.